Welcome everyone from What's on the Table. This is Prof G and you're watching another episode of Graded, the show where we're not just going to unbox or review a particular statue, collectible, or figure. We are actually going to give it a grade at the end of each video. But again, for this video, we won't be doing any grading today, as what we have here right in front of us is the prototype for the Legendary Beast Studios 1/3 scale Aquaman. Now, you've probably seen this already before from the photos of Legendary Beast Studios being displayed in different toy cons and exhibits, as well as being opened for pre-order months back. And while it's being under development, I kinda wanna have a much more in-depth observation on this statue, as there are a lot of elements here that are far different from the other Justice League statues that they've announced. So for that, let's get this first look video started. No flashy lights, no special effects. This is going to be a raw video. Now, before we begin, I want to say a special thank you to JC of Legendary Beast Studios for lending me this gorgeous 1/3 scale Aquaman statue for a limited time only, as I still need to return this in time for the 2025 ToyCon coming this June. And as I understand it, there will be a lot of reviews on this year's ToyCon, and of course, Graded is going to be there to cover it, so stay tuned. Now, going back to this Aquaman statue, this is just their prototype. So again, this is not going to be anywhere near the production piece, and with the recent updates LBS is sharing on their Facebook page and how they're making a lot of improvements on their paint job, as well as bonus inclusions suggested by the community, like how they did some improvements on the Spider-Man paint applications, for example, we can very well see those improvements be passed on their Justice League line. Now, let's do a quick dimensions check. From the bottom of the base to the top of his head, that's already around 34 inches. The length from the first side, with consideration to the waves resin effect, is 21 inches, and the width is around 18 inches. So again, consistent with the other Justice League members. Just to give you a quick size comparison with other scales, this is Aquaman beside a common 1/6 scale Hot Toys featuring Batman. This is Aquaman beside a 1/4 scale statue featuring Robert Pattinson as Batman. And this Aquaman beside a life-size bust Harley Quinn. So I hope that scale comparison helps in giving you an idea on its size. Now, the version that they lend me is the Premier Edition, which means we are going to see all the switch outs for this particular design. Now, just a recap, we are going to have a total of 3 head switch outs. One is the Alex Ross inspired head sculpt, the other one is the long-haired Aquaman, and the third head sculpt is also the long-haired Aquaman, but this time he has a crown. We got 3 right hands as well, and 2 of which will be used to hold his trident, 1 with the green gloves and 1 without gloves. And we will also get 3 left hands. 1 is a standard hand with the green gloves holding a fist. The other hand is translucent, mimicking a fist formed by water, kind of giving you a glimpse of his powers. And lastly, and my personal favorite, is the hand, or in this case, the non-existent hand switch out, where it is bandaged with a harpoon. So, if you are familiar with the storyline where Aquaman lost his abilities to talk to fish, and his hand was devoured by a bunch of piranhas, well, this is what happened. Harpoon hands, baby! So those are the switch outs and inclusions. Let's do a rewind, shall we, so I could show you how we assembled this Aquaman statue. Again, no instructions manual, just follow the pegs and the reference artworks that they gave us in their website, so let's see how this goes. You got the storytelling base over here. We are gonna dive deeper and talk about the intricate details they included on this one. You also have some attachments on the base, like the statue of King Atlan at the back holding his trident, and my personal favorite inclusion on the base is the water and wave effect splashing down on the ancient stone structures. Now, once you have that on there, you have the left foot pegged on the base on the slot right there. Attach the upper body on the torso slot over here. By the way, that upper body texture and suit of Aquaman looks freaking cool. Your head sculpt of choice, I am going to use the long-haired Aquaman with the crown. Then put the left hand of your choice. Of course, I am going to go with the harpoon hands just because, I don't know, I like it. And the right hand where he is holding his trident. Put them all together and it's going to look something like this. Pretty good looking statue of Aquaman if you ask me. And yes, I ordered this as well because I've said it before. I wanted to complete the Justice League line of LBS just because I really think all of the characters look good side by side with each other, and I don't know, just my personal preference, I really like the museum commanding pose of the line. Nothing fancy, consistent height and measurements. Not really a nightmare to display on the shelves. Now overall, and since this is just a first look video for the Aquaman prototype, and we can expect improvements on the production piece, I want to highlight some key points and features of this statue. Not a lot and not too detailed, as I want to reserve those comments on the production piece. Alright, so we're gonna start with the base on this one. Now for the base, I have to say it, out of all the storytelling bases on the Justice League line, this is by far one of my favorites just because it looks different when it comes to the detail and texture, and the sculpt on it really matches the scene. Front and center, you have your Topo. Now if you don't already know, Topo is an octopus, obviously, with a very human-like intelligence and possesses a lot of very useful skills. So he's kind of like the sidekick of Aquaman. You also have a bunch of stone sculptures and sea creatures, and then at the very back, you are going to see the gates of Atlantis with sculptures of what seems to be King Atlan with his trident sculpted there as well. I mean, if we are going to compare the other storytelling bases from LBS Justice League line, this may have less elements on it, but sometimes less busy bases depending on the story kind of works. And it definitely works here. And adding to the base, you are going to have the translucent resin sculpt of the waves crashing on the rock formation, which I think is the best way to represent Aquaman. I mean, you really do need to have some water element or representation over here. And for me, it kind of makes a huge difference. Not having that water effect will look kind of plain, so it was a smart move for LBS to add that there. Next, you have the body of Aquaman, which I think the sculpt and the pose is pretty good. Combine that with the head sculpt where he has that facial expression looking up. Similar to how they did Superman, it has that heroic stance. But what really caught my attention are the different textures on the parts of his suit. You have the texture on his pants or leggings, and if you notice, the texture on the green pants and the trunks are different. You have a smooth texture on the belt area, and my favorite, the texture of his upper body with gold scaled armor. And that paint job of the gold color tones really looks good. And I think that gives it a very big pop of color compared to the other members of the Justice League. The hand switch outs and accessories, we don't need that much. So they gave us 3 variations for each hand, but I gotta tell you, all of them are usable, and it just depends on the style you want to go for. You want to have the classic look where he's just wearing the classic green gloves holding a trident, you got that. You want to have a bit of a story where he doesn't have the gloves and has the translucent fisted hand, you got that as well. Or a combination of the classic green gloves with the harpoon hands, you can do that combination as well. So it all depends on you, but for me, I already have my favorite, and I will tell you later. The next is the head sculpt. So for this version, we have a total of 3 head sculpts only, but all of them are based on the comics. You got the Alex Ross inspired head sculpt, which is gonna go well if you plan to display your Justice League with Alex Ross inspired head sculpts. You have the long-haired Aquaman, if ever you want a bit more gritty looking Aquaman with a beard. And you also have Aquaman with long hair and beard wearing a crown. But for me, my favorite look so far, if I'm going to display this, it's this one. Aquaman with the long hair and the beard wearing the crown and the harpoon hand. That's the combination I will be using for this display. Now again, this is just a prototype piece. It's nowhere gonna be near the actual production release. I'm sure there's still gonna be a few things they will improve on, but based on what I'm seeing right now, it looks really good. Now I know we've seen photos of this piece from their page and even in Toy-Cons, but having it here in the graded studio very near me and just seeing every detail that they've attached in this piece, it's just a different experience. Now a lot of you guys might be overlooking this Aquaman, but for me personally, I think this has the most unique base. The texture and color tones pops more than the other Justice League members, and for some reason they made Aquaman cooler than how we remember him to be. That's it guys for this first look video of Aquaman. I'm actually excited to complete the Justice League members, and rumor has it, I think they will reveal a lot more in this coming Toy-Con, so stay tuned. Again, also, I'm not sponsored by Legendary Beast Studios, nor do I have any affiliate links on any e-commerce platforms. They were just kind enough to lend me their prototype piece, so again, I want to say thank you to the whole LBS team. Thanks guys for watching another episode of Graded. If you like this video, give me a shout at the comment section below. I already have this on pre-order, but let me know what you guys think. If you want to check out my other graded episodes of Legendary Beast Studios, here are the thumbnails on the screen. Thanks again, guys. This is Prof G, and you just watched another episode of Graded. See you all on the next one.